Hello there my fellow holotable heroes and welcome to another fleet guide video. So in this one I want to talk about Finalizer with a 5-star TIE Echelon versus Executors. Now I've done lots of testing here in Fleet Arena now after the AI change to Executor, and I'm happy to say that actually the AI change they made makes it easier to beat Executors than before the AI change. I'll talk about more that later once we go through the battles. So first I'll cover here the key mechanics of the fleet that I'm using to get you the wins, and then obviously talk a little bit about RNG factors, relic levels, and as well how many stars you need to have on TIE Echelon to get this to work consistently. Overall I would say, the win rate is pretty good here as long as your Echelon survives. So definitely if you have a 7-star Echelon, this will be probably close to 100%. At 5-star, for my testing, probably a win 2 out of 3 because 1 out of 3 attempts my TIE Echelon doesn't survive the opening sequence. So let's first start off by covering Finalizer. So the 2 steps ahead, that's the crew ability here. It will give Finalizer essentially 45 speed to begin with. That's what it allows Finalizer to go out first, apply Hunted on the target. And as well, obviously, if you need a reminder, reinforcement abilities of your first order ships will become active at the beginning of the battles. And this is what will allow then, if you do have 5-star Echelon, that's going to be the minimum for this to work. It will put the other 2 first order ships on stealth, so Executor will have to target Echelon with the opening sequence, keeping your both Kylos there safe and secure while they're hiding in stealth. Hunted, what Hunted does, it does 2 things here really. Obviously it applies Hunted debuff on the enemy, and whoever's got that debuff, they deal less damage when attacking out of turn, and they also can't gain bonus turn meter. But what it also does, it will apply on your first order ships defense penetration and offense up, so again giving you nice boosting damage whenever you do use this ability. So definitely keep that in mind when you're about to one-shot somebody with Kylo. And in terms of other abilities, like the other 2 special abilities, they don't really do much. You don't really use them, to be honest. But basic there can be useful because it will call first order ally to assist and also give them critical damage up. So this is again huge, further boosting damage of your TIE Silencer. And TIE Silencer there, as we'll see later, it's got some nice abilities there on its basic attacks. Definitely a very good basic ability actually, to be honest, from Finalizer. And let's just move on now to the next ship, which is Kylo Ren's Command Shuttle. This is the key as well to the whole fleet, provides limitless turn meter to the whole fleet. So to begin with, Kylo Ren's Command Shuttle begins with plus 40 speed when it has protection. So again, it will allow it to be fast out of the gate, even though its base speed is low. But again, speed itself is not all that important, because check this out, whenever a first order ally takes damage, Kylo's shuttle will be gaining 15% turn meter and all its cooldowns reduced by 1, which is huge. All those mass assists, attacks, extra bonus attacks that Executor has, this will feed turn meter to your command shuttle that will be getting constant turn after turn, and as well all the abilities will be reset cooldowns over and over again, so you'll pretty much be able to keep spamming the ability there to feed turn meter to your team. So definitely Kylo's command shuttle, an excellent ship. Now in terms of the reinforcement ability, we do have to talk about, because remember, Finalizer there will activate the reinforcement abilities of your starting first order fleet, and again very powerful abilities. So whenever enemy will reinforce, Kylo shuttle will remove turn meter from them and also boost turn meter to your first order allies. So you go, more turn meter manipulation here from your guys. So moving on, this ability here, Advanced Jamming Array. So this is the one where you can keep ability blocking Houndstooth so it never gets a taunt up, so you can almost ignore it, to be honest. And the Strike Team, this is the ability that you will want to use on Kylo Command Shuttle itself, and then it will keep boosting the turn meter to the rest of the team. And then this ability, Surprise Rate, it gives 100% turn meter to target and advantage, and also reduces cooldown by 1. So this will allow you to, if you do need to give an instant turn to TIE Silencer, you can go ahead, use this ability, and then TIE Silencer can do some big hit on somebody when he's got advantage with his special attack. So Kylo Ren's Command Shuttle, very powerful ship. Moving on to TIE Silencer. TIE Silencer, really, you just want to keep it alive at all means. because it will be doing massive damage there. So there you go. Afterburner, there's the ability there for TIE Silencer, reinforcement ability that will get activated. It'll just give it, you know, some extra there offense. And then the other ones, overwhelming advantage. So this ability only use if you do have advantage, otherwise it's a waste, because it won't do really more damage than the basic attack, while basic can actually stun enemies, as you will see later. So this ability only use when you have advantage for a big hit on somebody. It will do massive damage. Then basic, mentioned multiple times already, if the enemy has more than 50% turn meter, you will apply stun on them, otherwise gain advantage. So definitely we'll be able to keep these guys stun locked as well. And then Frenzied Rage, so that's the crew ability from Silencer. So each time Silencer is damaged or damages a target locked enemy, it gains 10% turn meter and 15% stacking offense. And that's why it will allow eventually TIE Silencers to just start one-shotting ships, including Houndstooth. So remember, it gets all these bonuses every time it takes damage. So keep this in mind, because I'll come back to it later. So moving on, TIE Echelon now. Again, key ship of this starting lineup, because its reinforcement ability will allow to put the other allies in stealth. So then they'll be able to they'll be forced to attack Echelon. And that's why you need Echelon at least 5 stars to get a chance to get this to work, because in order to get the reinforcement ability to level 3, you need to get Echelon to 5 stars. Now, at 5 stars, my Echelon, as mentioned before, 1 out of 3 times would not survive the opening barrage. It's a bit too squishy at 5 stars. So if you have it at 6 or probably even at 7 stars, I would probably assume there, correct me if I'm wrong, anybody out there with 7-star Echelon, it survives 100% of the time, which obviously allows you to probably win 90% of the battles quite easily. So keep that in mind, when you're deciding how to farm, how far to level up to Echelon in terms of stars. Now, looking at abilities from Echelon here, so we'll start off with this special ability. It will gain protection up, well, unless it's got their buff immunity from Razor Crest, but most importantly, call everybody to assist, and then as well they will gain stealth. So pretty powerful ability. And this Might of the First Order, this is the here unique that will keep this ship alive. The longer it survives, the more durable it gets, because at the start of each First Order ally's turn, TIE Echelon will gain defense, gain health and protection, stacking. So the more battle goes on, the more durable it gets. So it's a very powerful ability. And also, whenever First Order ally lands a critical hit, TIE Echelon will be recovering health and protection. So again, very, very powerful there abilities. You'll see if TIE Echelon manages to survive, it will probably end up with full health and protection. The basic there, it's okay. I mean, you don't get to see it often, but if you do attack a target locked enemies, they will call First Order allies with advantage to assist, which sometimes, it does happen, but getting target lock on these guys is sometimes very hard. Now, let's go to reinforcement. First Order Special Forces TIE Fighter, very important reinforcement ability, because when it reinforces, First Order allies will be gaining 80% potency, and enemies will be gaining minus 20% tenacity. So this kind of works out as your guys having 100% potency, so they'll be able to, especially Kalos, their TIE Silencer, landing those stuns on the basic will be absolutely huge. So the other abilities here, Concussion Missile, it doesn't do a whole lot of damage, but it does apply ability block and then call as well somebody to assist. So you then kind of have a combo there to either ability block or stun a target when you call TIE Silencer for assist. Very important to keep Houndstooth under control. Now, the AoE Double Offensive, deal physical damage to all enemies. It doesn't do a whole lot of damage, to be honest, but it applies damage over time on all other ship which can't be resisted. All other, that's including your own. Now say, why would I want to apply damage over time on my own ships? Remember both Kalos Shuttle, whenever First Order allies are damaged, Kalos Shuttle is gaining bonus turn meter. It's reducing its cooldowns. So damage over times, when you get a turn, it will deal damage to your guys, so it will feed Kalos Shuttle. TIE Silencer, whenever it gets a turn, damage over times will be dealing damage to itself. Again, boosting their the offense on it. So that's why, you know, you do want to use this AoE if you can, because it will actually benefit your team. You will take a little bit of damage, but again, with their Finalizer, whenever your first order allies do critical hit, they'll be recovering health anyway, so they'll be able to quickly offset that little bit of health they lose from damage over times. It's definitely, you know, very, very useful here, AoE, to be honest. And then the other reinforcement, Ebon Hawk, doesn't really matter gear levels on these guys. He's here really for his reinforcement ability alone, because when it comes in, it dispels target locks from your guys, and then it dispels all buffs on the enemies. Most importantly, it puts this buff chaff on your guys, and with your chaff they can't get target locks. If they can't get target locks, Executor won't be able to get to its contract very fast. And here the special attack, this one, Potent Pilot, can dispel. So that's also again useful if you need to dispel maybe you know, that taunt on maybe Boba's TIE Fighter or something, but in most cases you will use the basic to feed Thermometer, or here Scramble Scanners. It inflicts buff immunity, doesn't really matter, but it will reapply chaff for another 2 turns. So essentially you got about 3-4 turns where enemy can't land target locks on you. So this is huge. And basic, as mentioned before, it will give some Thermometer to random ally. That always helps. Plow Kun here, if you've been watching my videos, you've seen that I'm not really using Plow with my Negotiator much. If I put Negotiator on defense, to be honest, my Plow never reinforced looking at GSC history, so I decided not to waste him and use him here. Obviously the reinforcement ability from Plow is absolutely amazing. When it enters, it will dispel all debuffs on your allies and then also recover some health and protection. If you don't want to use Plow here, you can probably use Gauntlet as well. It's got a cleanse there and some protection recovery, but Plow is just much better ship because it's not only cleansing, it's got here an ability that you can put taunt on somebody, which will help you a little bit as well, and then another ability, Inspiring Charge, here feeds Thermometer to the entire team. So definitely Plow has a great utility. Cassian here again, my rebels are really bad, so I don't use rebels for anything, so Cassian here is a great utility ship as well for any fleet, not just rebels. Reinforcement ability dispels all buffs on all enemies, again another way to dispel buffs from enemies, which is huge. And also the other ability is great utility. Infiltration Tactics, it will dispel all debuffs on target allied and grant them stealth. So maybe you've lost your TIE Echelon, right? And then your TIE Silencer is debuffed. You can bring this guy in, hide TIE Silencer in stealth, and you know, then can do some big damage there. So definitely can save your TIE Silencer's bacon a lot. And the other ability, Guerrilla Strike, call somebody for assist. Again, calling TIE Silencer for assist, right, is always useful either for a big hit or stunt. And on top of it all, threat assessment as well, it can dispel buffs on target enemies. So there you go, Cassian's Ewing's got so much utility, dispelling, their cleansing, calling for assist, and everything. Alright, let's first now start off with talking about the RNG factor. So the biggest RNG factor of them all is, does TIE Echelon survive the opening attack? From my testing, if it survives, it's pretty much 100% win rate, in case dodge happens, which we'll talk about it later. So that's why I'm saying probably with 5-star TIE Echelon, 1 out of 3 times from my testing will not survive. But at 6 stars, maybe it's good enough, I don't know, but definitely I think at 7 stars TIE Echelon will survive this every single time, giving you a very high win rate versus any sort of Executor. So let me show you here what happens. 5-star TIE Echelon will get killed off, unfortunately. You just kind of start off the sequence. We'll talk about this once we get to the battles. I just wanted to show you what happens when they do take out TIE Echelon to begin with, because it can happen. There we go. Combination of you know, critical hits, double taps from Xanadu Blood was too much, and that's pretty much game over from here on out, because with TIE Echelon not being alive, they won't be hitting TIE Echelon, and then your command shuttle won't be able to gain bonus Thermometer and keep Houndstiff under control. So there you go, battle lost. So another RNG factors mentioned before is the dodging. That's why I wouldn't say this is 100% win rate, because as you will see here now, you bring in Special Forces TIE Fighter, now trying to ability block or stun, dodge, nothing happened, and now IG there was able to put a stun on command shuttle, obviously totally slows down your team. So that's the RNG factors. There is some RNG involved, but if you do have a 7-star Echelon, the RNG is really tiny, to be honest. But anyway, let's moving on now, talking about the Relic factor. is Relic 7 Hux needed? From my testing, my Relic 5 Hux with some 6 dot mods on him, he's able to get the reinforcement out every single time when I'm going up against Relic 8 Executors. Versus Relic 9's Executor was faster and able to get reinforcement out before me. Is this really important? Well, if you get reinforcement out first, it gives you a little bit more control over Houndstooth. But if you go second, then it gives you a little bit more control to respond to whatever the enemy brings in. You will see when I'm doing the battles there. So while yes, it does make it, I think, a little bit easier to get this done if your Finalizer gets the reinforcement in before the enemy, it's not really the deciding factor, to be honest, of a win or not. So I'm going to say this in terms of relicking your Hux above, Supreme Colony requirements is this. If you have a 5-star TIE Echelon, you're not going to get 100% win rate or 90% win rate anyway, because your 5-star Echelon will be dying off. So it's not really, I think, worth going with Hux to Relic 6 or 7. So I'm leaving my Hux at Relic 5. But once I do have 7-star TIE Echelon in a few months time, I don't know when it's becoming farmable, how it will be farmable, then I'll look at obviously bumping my Hux to Relic 6 or 7, whatever it's needed, that it's fast enough to outrun Relic 9 Executor. Alright, finally all the stuff out of the way, let's now hop into battle. So battle number 1 versus Relic 8 Executors. These are the most straightforward and easy probably, as long as your TIE Echelon survives, as mentioned before the opening sequence. You start off always applying Haunted on Houndstooth, so it can't gain bonus turn meter when you're hitting its allies. Just a tap there on Razor Crest. They do their mass essays, there you go, surviving no issues. You boost their meter to the team by targeting Command Shuttle there, get a mass attack over on Razor Crest, then they get to go. Okay, that's fine. Now look at this, Command Shuttle getting another turn because of all those attacks. You can now land ability block there on Houndstooth, put a big hit on Cat Bane, more turn meter for the team, basic finishing off their Xanadu Blood already. And now because, this is Relic 8 Piet, was able to get reinforcement in. And in this case, if you get to go your reinforcement bring in first, always bring in Special Forces TIE Fighter, so you can, their ability block and or stun. Houndstooth ability block didn't land, stun did. Now they bring in a Boba there, was able to dispel with Command Shuttle, put a big hit with TIE Silencer. I'm just going to call here an assist, finishing off Boba already. And now here, again, as mentioned before, do the AoE, so you get damage over times there on your guys, so they can then, do some nice damage there. There we go. And this is where the AI change happened, right? Under the old, they would put taunt on Houndstooth and I would be stuck behind Houndstooth taunt. But the new AI change will not do that. It will do it to the weakest ally, right? So in this case, the AI changes makes it easier because I don't have to deal with a taunt now from Houndstooth. I can just, keep it stunned, keep it ability blocked, and that's pretty much it. Second reinforcement, if the enemy's contract is not triggered yet, it's worth probably bringing in Ebon Hawk just to get chaff on your guys so they can't target lock you. You stop their contract. And there we go, with no taunt on Houndstooth, with the AI change, it's very easy here. Obviously here is Fleet Arena, so, bringing in Falcon there instead of IG, but to be honest, I find Falcon more annoying than IG, just because of the foresight, and now it's hiding in stealth, right? If that would be IG would be dead probably by now already, unless it dodges, as I've shown you there. But anyway, big hit. Houndstooth already gone, and also another benefit of the AI change here is, right, it's not only taunt. We did hit Houndstooth a couple of times. He wasn't at full protection anymore. So then the AI, didn't heal him all the way back up. So it was easier to finish him off. Definitely AI change makes this a lot easier, to be honest. All right, so we got now Relic 9, 3 Relic 9 battles here for you. Just, you can see different reinforcement, different little bit of RNG, how things operate. So in the first battle, Boba will be the first reinforcement. And it will play differently because, Relic 9 Piet will be faster than a Relic 5 Hux for the first reinforcement. Same start, going to put a Hunted on Houndstooth. Then, this is the bit where you don't know will your 5-star Echelon survive or not. Once you have it 7 stars, no issues whatsoever. Doing the same thing as we've done before. Echelon still hanging in there. Kylo Shuttle gets another turn, put ability block, big hit on Xanadu Blood. More turn meter for a team, take down Xanadu Blood, there we go. and they bring in now Boba's ship first, and this is where obviously they get a little bit advantage there because they did get their reinforcement first. Now if enemy gets reinforcement first, then I'm bringing in Ebonhawk to dispel, you know, the retribution and everything from Boba's ship there, just to make sure it doesn't do anything silly. Putting ability block there over on Houndstooth so it can't get taunt. I almost got Boba out there. Let's feed Thermeter to the team. This should finish off Boba now, perfect. And here I can just put a hit over on Houndstooth because, you know, they will anyway heal up there. Now AI, we always heal up the weakest allies. And here I did an AoE just to get it foresight off Razor Crest as well. Here Bosk actually did get a taunt, so you can definitely see the difference, you know, because I don't have here now Special Forces TIE Fighter for the control and stans and everything. But, you know, they brought in Boba first, so I had to dispel that. So it plays a little bit different. We'll still pull out with a win, to be honest. Now we do have their buff immunity on my TIE Silencer, which is not great. That's why bringing in Plow, dispelling all of these, boosting Thermeter, removing all the buffs there from Houndstooth, one-shotting it with TIE Silencer, just like that. Again, it wasn't full health and protection because the AI now healed up Razor Crest instead. And again, just keep boosting teams, your Thermeter now. Again, I'm not liking the Falcon as the reinforcement because of all the, you know, foresight, and now it's hidden. I'm stuck behind the Razor Crest. Again, if that would be IG would have been taken out by now. So this battle is really dragging longer than it should, if I'm honest. When you're playing this in Territory Wars or Grand Arena, you know, this will be a lot easier and quicker because enemies will have only 2 reinforcements, not 4. So, you know, here in Arena is a little bit longer, the battles, but, you know, we got these things under control now. Just down to Razor Crest. It wasn't a critical hit. Maybe next one. Okay, there we go. Let's just call an assist. So we go basing from Finalizer. Very useful to call TIE Silencer for an assist. And this thing is pretty much over. Up next battle. So this will be when IG comes in as the first reinforcement. That happens as well sometimes. Starting sequence the same. Blind Hunted. Do just a basic over on Razor Crest. There we go. Then brace yourself for the big mass assist there. There we go, 5-star barely hanging in there. If you do have 7 stars, I'm pretty sure you don't have these issues. Then they keep going. Right, okay, so this time we did lose Echelon, but it doesn't matter. As long as it survived long enough to take all these attacks to begin with, it did its job. You don't really need Echelon to be anymore here at this point anyways. Carlos can carry these themselves, you'll see. Okay, there we go, bringing in IG. And because of their reinforcement ability from Kylo Shuttle activated with pushback Thermeter on IG, wasn't able to get a turn yet. And because obviously it wasn't Boba's the first reinforcement, we don't have to deal with his retribution and taunt. Bringing in Special Forces as the first reinforcement, get a stun on both of these guys. So this is where a little bit of this dodge RNG, I guess, can a little bit play a part in it. That I show in beginning. Okay, I'm just trying to take out IG. Down it goes, perfect. Again, AI change. Instead of putting taunt and healing up Houndstooth, they just healed up Razor Crest. To be honest, I'm not really sure where CG was going with this AI change. Maybe it makes it harder for Malevolence counter, I don't know. But for Finalizer, this makes it even easier. I'm bringing in now Plow here just to clean up. I do want to keep Command Shuttle alive. It was marked, that's why I bring in Plow for the clans. We could bring in Gauntlet, I guess, but Plow is better because he also got Thermeter boost at the same time. And this is again, you know, the part where it's different because of Fleet Arena. That's why these battles will drag on a little bit. Extra reinforcement here. Now I can just go ahead and put taunt there on my TIE Fighter. TIE Fighter did his job. It boosts our potency, to be honest. And let the enemy keep hitting it so that the Command Shuttle can keep getting bonus Thermeter. So you can definitely put a taunt there on Special Forces TIE Fighter with Plow. Now it's just a case of going here through Razor Crest. They did get their contract off this time, but at this point it doesn't even matter, to be honest. It's just 4 ships versus 1. We go, just trying to feed some Thermeter to my guys. There we go, they're bringing another reinforcement. Again, this would not happen in obviously Territory Wars and Grand Arena. They wouldn't have normally so many reinforcements. There we go. So we got stunned there on Slave 1, finished off there. Razor Crest, and boom, down goes Boba as well. So win, even though they did get a contract. So we go, battle number 4. So I want to show you this one because this is probably what you will see in GNC in Territorials, right? You see there Boba's first reinforcement and then IG's second reinforcement. None of those Falcons or something like that in between. Same start. If your Echelon survive, you're good to go here. Just do attack over on Razor Crest. Okay, there we go. Echelon barely hanging in there, that's fine. Ability block Houndstooth. Put a hit on Xanadu Blood, booster meter, finish off Xanadu Blood, and here comes here Boba now. Again, this is all Relic 9, so will be faster than my Relic 5 Hux. Lost Echelon there to the counter attacks, which, you know, is okay, I guess. TIE Echelon did its job, it doesn't even matter anymore here. Again, bringing in Ebon Hawk to counter what Boba brings in as a reinforcement. We can now go ahead and ability block actually pass their meter over to Houndstooth, try to blow up Boba, wasn't quite big enough. Let's reapply the chuff, and here comes now taunt on Houndstooth, but I did wanted to prioritize taking Boba out in this case, because, you know, if you can get Boba out early, this will really help, again, slowing down their contract and things like that. And here I'll just do an AoE, I guess, clear off the foresight from Razor Crest while we're at it. We go basic, dispel protection up, which will gain it back, dispel that as well. Okay, and here comes IG. So this is the reason why I'm showing you this battle, because as you can see, RNG was very bad. I got a stun there, that's why I had to bring in Plow, clean up their stun on TIE Silencer. It's definitely, you know, not the cleanest battle. I don't want to show you all the cleanest wins. That I don't want to, you know, make it look like this is always easy. It's not. Things do go wrong. Things do drag on. But, you know, in most cases, these two guys can still, as long as both Kylos are alive, you always have a chance, to be honest. So that's your mission here. Keep these guys here alive, and then you can just start one-shotting people like that. There we go. And again, if this would be Grand Arena Territory Wars, there would be no more reinforcements, so this battle would be quicker over than it was in the end, because usually opponents, they don't put more than 2 reinforcements in Grand Arena Territory Wars, but in Fleet Arena you do have to obviously deal with full their reinforcements, so 4 of them, so sometimes the battles do drag on. Prioritizing Razor Crest. Again, if this would be GAC or TW, you know, we would win by now, probably. So there you go. It's not gonna be the easiest and cleanest win of them all, but I also wanted to show you, you know, when things do go against you in terms of, you know, RNGs and reinforcement, you still have a very good chance to win, even if you lose TIE Echelon early. There we go. Yeah, well, okay, fine. Come on, just a basic will do, I think. Yeah, there we go. It wasn't even critical hit, and it was enough. Alright guys, thank you for watching. Hope this video was useful and helpful, showing you how I've been utilizing Finalizer fleet here with 5-star Echelon. Again, with 5 stars mentioned before, it's not, you know, the most reliable thing, because you never know whether TIE Echelon survive or not. In my cases, 2 out of 3 times it will survive. So whether you want to risk this little bit of, you know, RNG in your GAC and territorial battles, I guess it's down to you to decide. If you want to eliminate the RNG and you're just okay to accept a 2-shot, you can just maybe send in a weak fleet to absorb all those big hits, so that when you throw in your Finalizer, then your TIE Echelon doesn't get 1 shot to begin with. Maybe you could try that, but otherwise, once you do get, you know, your TIE Echelon to 7 stars, let me know, 7-star users, are you winning like, you know, 90% of your battle or not? Does it survive every time or not? Because I wasn't able, obviously, to test that with my 5-star Echelon. Thank you for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one, but until then, have fun, enjoy life, and may the RNG be with you, my friends.